Have there been moments in our lives where we have hurt people or we have crushed someone's spirit just by our words and the way we communicate? And I'm sure that all of us, we at some point or the other, we hurt people by our words. And many a times we are not even aware of that. Friends, during these years, as we've been living in this pandemic, I believe that there is another subtle pandemic that is crippling and destroying our relationships. Our relationship with our friends, our families, and even marriages. And that is the pandemic of a complaining and a grumbling spirit. Friends, Philippians chapter 2 verse 14 would tell us that in everything, stop complaining. Not in some things, in everything, in every situation of our lives, stop complaining. You see, friends, if we look at us, our society, if we look at the times that we're living in, there is a spirit of grumbling and complaining about anything and everything, and it's caught up and is becoming more like a culture of complaining. All around we see marriages breaking up, we see relationships being shipwrecked, and that is because it begins and stems from a spirit of complaining and grumbling. You may say, Lenny, but it doesn't seem so detrimental. It doesn't seem so dangerous. Friends, it begins like a virus. It begins to spread like cancer, and then slowly but subtly it begins to destroy our relationships. This Lenten reflection, I'm going to share 4 types of grumblers and complainers, which will help us to have clarity and identify what kind of a complainer I am, so that I can take it to the Lord in prayer during this time of Lent and allow the Lord to heal us. Friends, I believe that this Lenten reflection is so timely. There's never been a better time than this, where we can take it to the Lord during this Lenten time and ask the Lord to help us to overcome a spirit of complaining and grumbling. Friends, we need to flatten this curve of pandemic of complaining, and I'm going to share these reasons with you. The next Lenten reflection, I'm going to share with you steps how to overcome the spirit of complaining and grumbling. But for this one, I'm going to share on the 4 types of grumblers and complainers. The first type of a complainer or grumbler, they are known as whiners. A common person would get up in the morning and say, "Good Lord, it is morning." You're happy, you're excited, you're positive, and that's how you respond. But a whiner would just do the opposite, and they would say, "Good Lord, it is morning." And they could whine about anything and everything, and they could disrupt the atmosphere around. Just by their attitude, they would demoralize even people around them. The first type is a whiner. The second type is a martyr. A martyr would always complain. They would always throw these pity parties, and they would pout at when things don't go their way. And they would always complain, saying, "No one cares for me. No one loves me. No one understands me." The third type of a grumbler and a complainer are cynical kind of people. They would say, "Why bother? It's not going to make any difference. Why waste your time?" And their attitude and the way they would speak many a times poisons the minds of others. And they would hurt people the way they speak. That's what cynical kind of people are. And so, friend, the first type of a complainer are whiners. The second type are martyrs. The third are cynical. The fourth are perfectionists. Friends, don't get me wrong. There's no harm in reaching for excellence. There's nothing wrong in trying to be the best or perfect a skill or do your job perfectly. It's only when we begin to develop a negative attitude towards everybody else, and we may say, "Is this the best that you can do? Is this the best that you can offer?" And we always find the others always less, and we begin to blame them and grumble, and sometimes our words could be so harsh that many a times you'll find that people do not want to work with you. People do not want to be around you because of the way you are. They would appreciate the kind of work you do, but they do not appreciate the words that come out from your mouth because they're detrimental and it hurts, and many a time that stays lifelong. So friends, here are the 4 types of grumblers and complainers. they are whiners, they are martyrs, they are cynical, they are perfectionists. We need to look at these areas and see what kind of a complainer I am. It's only when I have this kind of clarity I can identify. I know personally that in all of these four, in some degree or the other, I am a complainer and a grumbler. And I've been praying and seeking the Lord in these days of Lent. Lord, open my eyes to identify, to have clarity, and so that with your grace and mercy, I may change and I may overcome this area of complaining and grumbling. Friends, the next Lenten reflection, I'm going to share with you the steps of how we can overcome. So stay tuned towards that reflection. I really pray, friends, that even as we seek the Lord for His grace and mercy, especially in this area of complaining and grumbling, the Lord is going to help us change and overcome. And I believe, friends, that this Lenten season is going to be our blessed Lenten season ever.